And while it's a quick 2-0, it's the reason why we keep kind of focusing on what we're saying or about this poor flex is although it's 2-0 and although FHS looks kind of improved to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
that second game was no hard feelings game to lose. And
Mm-hmm.
I think stressing that is important because sometimes you see a 2-0 and you go, "Oh, it's going to be a 4-0." Like not necessarily. And this is no hard feelings map pick. So let's see how they can potentially recover here.
They did really good against they played a team. I can't recall, but I did see them play. I don't think it was on our stream. I think it was on Scott's stream. But they did play. I'm actually gonna look real quick, and you can kind of go into the tank picks and stuff
Mhm.
while I kind of look for it.
Yep, no hard feelings on the attack, bringing one Batchet, one VZ, one E100, 150B, and double Super Conquer, while FHS is bringing a CS. Is that double? No, it cannot be. Oh, early shots here onto Chase. Supernova driving past as well, but the shot isn't from Supernova. It was
It
from
was
one
actually
of the Super
Friday.
Conquers, I think.
It was Friday.
Oh,
We
was
we
it?
got to see them against Angry Apes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that is accurate.
oh, that fast game. Was
Mm-hmm.
that accurate? Okay.
And that
And
was on
that was
Ghost
really
Town.
early. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then we had the long tiebreaker match second. That's when it was
Mm-hmm.
like when you have a quick 4-0 and then you have a long drawn out tiebreaker, you tend to forget that first match.
So, so it looks like they are going in right here.
Yeah, this is hyper aggressive.
Ooh,
Early
Knight getting a really
brawls.
good shot in. So far, Knight has kind of
Ooh, over 2 from
over
Attila.
2, and Attila's gonna get picked off here.
Yeah, in a 6-on-6, that is a humongous deficit to try.
Oh,
to
Knight
come
actually
back
low
from.
roll. That's unfortunate, but Attila is still alive. But Ober actually has 2. He's actually
Ober
looking to
actually
get
can-
damage onto the 50B.
And he gets his 2 and backs off.
Oh, he
Now he's
shot the
trapped in
50B
open.
and then he finished off the VZ. Actually, a really good play there. Leading that
Was it
VZ.
him or was it Melly?
They
I
said
guess it
Ober.
Okay.
Looking like they're in a tough pickle here. It looks like FHS is kind of trying to show everybody that like, hey, we're not gonna get 4-0'd anymore, okay?
Yeah,
It's
and,
really
I mean,
close here though, really close.
it
Golden,
is, but
yeah,
it isn't.
have- yeah.
It's all HP on 2 full health,
Full
very,
health, very slow
vehicles.
vehicles.
So,
Yeah, exactly. It was really
But
close
you
here
are
at
right,
HP,
it's still
but
doable because these VZs are going to have a little bit of a time. But the thing
there's
is,
just
they're
so
on
many
defense,
bodies.
as long as they can just disengage. If I were FHS, it is time to leave and not bleed any more HP and just get away.
they're
That's
just trying to
what it
look
looks
for
like they're trying to do.
picks.
And just get turret breaks, and that's what they're trying. And honestly, no hard feelings, making the right choice, and
Vova
they need
just
to drive
tracking
forward and hope
because
they
since
get a track
Ober's
and get
dead, they
damage.
lost.
Ober
I mean, not
should
Ober. I mean, Gold is
reload.
dead. They lost because
Mhm.
Ober's reloading here in time. My bad.
And Ober going 2 for 2 there, finishing the Super Conqueror, and that. Now it's it. But it did get a little scary there for just a moment. You can see that there was maybe FHS caught a little bit like, oh yeah, we're winning, we've got this, and then it was like, that's a lot. Okay, let's not don't be stupid. And then they split into 3 different directions, and it was it's a 3-way crossfire and turret break, so they had to push out of it, and yeah, FHS just comes out ahead, and yeah, FHS making a bit of a statement. This is now 3-0. I don't think it's necessarily bad play by No Hard Feelings, except on that Himmelsdorf, but maybe they got caught out by something here. I don't know. Is this a new FHS? Like completely? Like
Yeah,
what is changing?
They have the Night One Rider. That's the new.
Well, the Night One Rider did 1,420 damage. Melly getting out 800.
Hey,
Looked like he got caught
Hey,
out.
he's a team player.
Chase. Oh, no.
That's my
You know
clan
what?
caller you're talking about, sir. No playing. I don't care.
Yeah. Doing damage, doing whatever, like, doesn't
Mhm.
matter as long as you win.
True.
But unless, you play fantasy tanks, in which case it matters a lot, and especially the kills.
Dude,
over
Vova-
3,400, and Vova has 104 points, 4,200.
Vova Gaming.
Exclamation point fantasy in the chat. Make sure to set up your fantasy tank
I
rosters
think
for every
I think
day.
what's happening here, what we're seeing is with the addition of Night One Rider, there is actually a somebody that actually is willing to take shots. He is definitely somebody that's willing to take shots for others. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
he is basically going to be their external, but except with a lot of like with that kind of map knowledge and experience from his past, because he actually has played in league, the other leagues, and he actually ran teams for a while now. He didn't play in like us, like Wilgona, but he did play in a lot of community leagues and
Yeah, he
stuff. So he
came
has.
in like kind of at the end of Wigglena or right after
Mm-hmm.
Wigglena when he was getting into Clan Wars, if I remember right. The
Mm-hmm.
Maho
He's
era, so
getting.
like around like 2016, 17. I mean, maybe
Mm-hmm.
he was playing before that, but maybe not as much, or maybe not as much at the higher levels. Maybe more casually, but
But
around that time is when I
you
remember
always
him from
need those
Clan
kind
Wars
of
and stuff.
guys. Uh,
But
you
at this
always need
point,
those.
that's 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
more
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's an eternity in video game time.
True.
In terms
You
of
always
in
need those
terms of
kind of guys that just can make, because I think we're gonna see some scenarios where Knight makes really good plays, and it's probably not going to be from chase. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be like instinctual, like he'll see an
Mhm.
opening. You always want a guy or two like that on your team, right?
Absolutely. Look, there's calls and stuff, but as we talk about, like when you get to smaller formats, 7-on-7, 6-on-6, even more so, there are calls and there are strategies and there are like triggers to try to make things simpler for players and trying to figure things up. But
Exactly.
you cannot call when someone like makes that, they drive forward a little bit further and angle better off this corner to take a shot. No one's going to micromanage you to that extent in this type of format. It has to be a little bit more instinctual and things like that. But yeah, he's definitely capable of that, and you want those types of players, and you want those types of players to be able to, as long as they can communicate openly and clearly with each other. Oh, it looks
It's
like we have a timeout, so it will take another minute or so before we go into the next round.
We can go over the other roster changes if you want.
Sure, let's do it. Really fast, though.
So for Babology, they dropped Fanta, which I don't even know if he ever played,
I don't
and
think he
they picked
did.
up Potato. Angry Apes dropped Killbad and Simple for Singularity and Icy's J,
I
I
see.
guess. Yeah, we call him Icy. FHS, obviously, Paddington for Night, Catch
hmm
M, Bye Bye Kevin, Hello Felix.
Yeah,
Jack is
Felix making an
AFK.
appearance.
Jack is AFK, No Mariel, and Verwi.
Yeah,
And
so Muriel played some, didn't he?
mm-hmm.
Or- But I don't remember if he played more recently or not. Was he playing in the last two matches?
I my mind is
He
drawing
was
a
one of the
blank.
players you were saying was a bit rusty. Well, we saw
Mm-hmm.
Jack had returned and is no longer AFK as of our last.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since the
I think
tiebreaker
he
on
kind of
Sand
took
River.
Muriel's spot when he went on AFK.
Yeah, that's what it
Just
seemed like. So, and
from what I
yeah,
can remember, because I
and
know
he
for a
came
fact
in
the other
and
guy is like Anthony that was playing a lot.
yeah,
So and then you have that
he's been
main
playing like
core.
pretty much 24
Yeah,
7.
yeah, yeah. And you have that main core. So I think yeah.
So I guess we'll see if Fairy is going to enter into that spot or
So
not, or if he's on the bench.
Angry Apes dropped 2 for 2. So I'm wondering if they're trying to make a last ditch effort to try to beat, because I mean they lost to Cat Jam, right? Which
hmm
is
Which means they're at the bottom right
they are at
now,
the
and
bottom. They have to beat some
they have to
very
win every
strong
game right
teams.
now to even kind of have a chance, like
Mm-hmm.
to stay in. So either maybe they're planning for a future season or tournament, or they're planning for it's we got to go all in and like we have to make some drastic changes now.
Right.
And
And it
honestly,
looks
yeah, I
like
mean, when you have 0 points after the first 2 weeks, chances are you need to shake things up because what you're doing is not working. And it's not like they had a whole bunch of really close, nail biter matches. They were getting severely outclassed. And now
right.
we are into the tank picking for round number 4. This is a best of 7. So the first team to 4 wins, and FHS have already guaranteed at least 1 point if it were to be a tiebreaker. But no hard feelings. You need to win 3 in a row for that. And let's see after these timeouts if
I
they
mean,
maybe kind of
I would
can
love to
do it.
see a reverse sweep, but then
It's
that.
always a bit dreamy to
Mm-hmm.
imagine. And then it's happened a couple times, but FHS is playing it looks like just they're playing a little bit better. than No Hard Feelings. No Hard Feelings just looks a little slow, or they're taking too much bleed. They took bleed on Himmelsdorf. They took bleed on Ghost Town without like returning damage. And 6-on-6, you just can't. You can't consistently go down 1500 HP and then win. Things have to go very, very well to win. I don't know. That. I don't know what down 1500 for free. Things aren't going well.
Like the last game. I don't know what Attila's purpose was, but I mean, he was just a free pick at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, losing a VZ in a city fight, a city brawl, is not. It's not okay. So I don't know if their VZ timing was bad. Like they tried it in a scrim. They're like, oh, it works, but like they were playing like against a team that didn't play as aggressive as FHS and try to get.
Interesting couple of lineups here though. I mean, we have the fastest lightest with the slowest as we go to Bix in his mouse. Not to be outdone though, I mean, No Hard Feelings have double E100 double bat chat. FHS has double bat chat. So
I think this is the first. Is this the first mouse of the league?
I don't think so. I think we have seen a mouse a couple of times before.
Okay.
But
my mind is drawing a blank.
We've seen one on Himmelsdorf, and I think we've seen one on Ghost Town once, maybe.
Okay.
But I don't remember if it won or not.
I don't know. When I see FHS's lineup, I just think a Night One Rider strat now, because he's on the team now.
It's very specific, and the 277, 113 are. The mouse has to have. They have to have really specific positions in mind for this type of play, and you can see the 277's on the outside, 113's on the H. One of the bat chats going 0 line, one's 1 line. They didn't start out split always, and free early damage on the over, and it's a fire. Oh, Bix.
Do you know the chances of a mouse fire? Like that is so low. That is so unlucky.
My God. Oh, and lobbing shells coming in. Yeah, I don't think he knows he's being teed off on yet. Okay, now he does, as he takes a penetration from Knight in the bat chat. He
he's
now.
Angling here. Not really doing
3.
Job, or
he's not really sure exactly. That is. It
kind of ended up. That's kind of hilarious how it ended up being an even trade. Like he caught a mouse on fire, but then took a bat chat clip.
Yeah, that took some good RNG for the bat chat shells at that distance to connect those shots and have as many.
Yeah, but if we go to the bat chat, he most likely has a lot of people are running bounding aiming unit, you know, so you can get the dispersion down to 0.31, which is really nice.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. And John.
The problem is the heat shell velocity. It still is a lot of RNG at that distance. It's 800 meters a second.
And look at Melly. Melly is staring there, but now he's turret broken, and now John's going to poke out and try to dump 2 into him. But John takes shots from Vova from range, and now Vova switches to Supernova.
That's actually smart.
As long as he can connect.
Because
the
reason why is because John, he can't move. You know what I mean? Whereas the bat chat's eventually, you know, going to be.
No one's ready to pick John, but people can pick Supernova, and he does get killed, and just getting him down to manageable HP, and now Melly is going to be the next to go down. No Hard Feelings taking a lot of damage, but not able to at least get a counter pick.
They're all turning around to try to receive this push, but I mean, like, look at that HP difference. Yeah,
they're down a gun, but they have 2 bat chats with most of their HP. Knight on the outside.
They're on defense.
And
the problem is they lost their bat chat, and the enemy team has 2 bat chats. The more in 2 VZs. So I mean, it's really going to be hard for them to win this.
They got to make some kind of drastic plays with their bats really fast here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're just saying, we need to get around. You need to get some damage, get a pick something, because when we're down a gun and we're on attack, it just options start to get eliminated really quickly. And you can see here, Vova looking for whatever he can find. Plus, they have a mouse, like you said. I mean, whatever they do isn't going to be able to be but so synchronized because it's so difficult to.
And it looks like they are making the plays with the back chat. Attila, mod checking, what's going on? Where's my HP? Like.
Oh, and he was reloading.
Yeah.
He couldn't even fire one in return, and that is a humongous pick for FHS.
Yeah.
And no real counterplay.
Attila definitely.
I mean,
Attila definitely mod check team. Mod check team. Where's my team? Like, Attila, you're dead. So that's the second time we've seen Attila die in a VC kind of alone, which is very unfortunate.
Pretty much all they had to do at that point was they needed to stay condensed, and
yeah, correct.
They didn't stay condensed. They were
I don't understand why
and they needed to take what fights they could.
I don't see. Here's the thing: if you have Batchat seniority, you get to play the outside. If you do not have Batchat seniority, I feel like it was kind of unwise for their Batchat to kind of play on the outside, because now look, it's stored by himself. He kind of wasn't in a position to kind of do anything. Does that make sense?
And when they had this many guns, they could have even just driven in and killed the mouse and the I think it was one other VZ. They could have. Or the 113.
They actually, I mean, you're right. They could have timed it. They could have, because I mean, all you really have to do is wait like what, a minute and a half for
they were down 4 to 5. They were down 4 to 5, and then they just killed 5 tanks. And they didn't lose another vehicle. That's kind of crazy. What do you think about 2 bats, a mouse, and I think it was a 277 were still alive?
They're back, baby.
Yeah, that was fast too. Like that was, if anything, I think that last game.
Yeah.
And maybe that first Himmelsdorf, but that last game in particular, because things didn't go perfectly. Like the first Ghost Town, they should win because they got Attila kind of for free, and then it's, you know, those are just kind of, you don't really want to harp too much on those victories if you're the winning team, because it's more the enemy team lost it. This game, they didn't have, like, it wasn't the worst exchange, but they definitely didn't get the better of the exchange, and then they just absolutely reset themselves and completely trounced the enemy within the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, Volvo getting 4,100 damage.
Yeah, how are you down 4 to 5 and then you kill 5 tanks without losing another vehicle? And one of them is a mouse that's already been set on fire. You play like the boys you are. You actually, you know, go, hey, like, let's actually play the game. Let's play the game. You know, and that's what they did. They played the game. They played. It's one of those things where I think a lot of those guys, I know for a fact, a lot of those guys have played with Knight in like Clan Wars and small format. So it's also somebody, you know, that they're like maybe used to. They're used to the voice. They're used to like what he's thinking, what he's saying. So what it really comes down to is that I feel like it's undeniable to say that an FHS has better player skill. It's undeniable. But no hard feelings is definitely, this isn't going to be their last game, you know what I mean? And they definitely are not going to be bottom 2. I don't see them being bottom 2. I don't see them being bottom 2 either.
Yeah, and so it really comes down to, like, maybe they end up picking somebody up. There's definitely people out there that they can pick up, so maybe they pick somebody up. Maybe they stay the same and they consolidate their power and they look to, you know, improving where they can. I feel like especially that Himmels game we can go back to was just too much flexing. And then, like you said, Ghost, and then they picked Ghost Town, and then they lost on Ghost Town. They got picked. You know, they got guys that got picked. Who was it? It was
the second game they just made. It was Attila, I think, in that first.
It was Attila the first game, and it was John, right? John got picked, the VZ.
And maybe it was Knight after that. Like, you know, after that first fight, when it was the 5-on-4. I don't know if it was Knight. I don't know if it was Chase. I don't know if it was all of them kind of communicating what they were doing. But whatever it was, they just looked like they were in sync on most of their battles. They had their plan.
I know
everyone was kind of doing what they were supposed to be doing,
right.
And at least, or whether it was the right or wrong thing, they were playing corners together. They were doing things together. While it looked like No Hard Feelings looked disjointed, uncomfortable. For all we know, Knight is there to give Chase like ideas. You know, I know Knight is really good at comms. Like when whatever comes out of his mouth is more useful than like some people. You know, I've heard some comms on other teams. Because the other boys, Scott and Hitman, they do listen-ins. And I've heard people say, you know, he shot once. And they were talking about a 277. Like, of course, the 277 shot once. He only has one shell, right? You know, and some comms have been, like, really scrambled. They're like, let's kill that guy. I'm going to go here. You see what I'm saying? Like, very, very scrambled comms where I know, you know, a lot of those guys, like, Vova may not talk a lot, but when he talks, he's giving out really good information. He probably said, I put
I put 2 into the VZ, I'm switching to the bat chat. Like that's something I could hear him saying, right? I'm gonna, or maybe
important information.
correct, yeah. And I have not heard no hard feelings comps. Hopefully Scott and Hitman do that, so I can kind of get like listen to it and see how, But I would say that experience wise, just in that kind of format, I know for a fact that they picking up Knight is really good because some of those guys are really quiet. I know for a fact Vova and Melly are kind of more on the quiet side. Ober talks when he wants to. Flounder is definitely more he definitely talks. Here's the thing, Flounder is not a talker, and looking at the lineup, he's definitely one of the more talkers. Does that make sense? So I'm wondering if it was more of a, because Patty is not a talker, not as in this kind of format. I don't know if he really, not to say he didn't give a lot of info, but I know I think he was just kind of AFK most of the time, is from what I've heard. So he just didn't want to play. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant AFK like in game. I was like,
No. He just didn't want to play. He just didn't have the time.
He was just. I got you.
Yeah.
But
so it
he's
wasn't like
fill out a roster for his friends.
Exactly. So it's not. I'm not really surprised by this result. The only thing I'm still just more surprised that they got 4-0'd.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be 4-0.
I'm not surprised they 4-0'd. No hard feelings. I'm more surprised
that it would be this quick of a thing where they kind of get that jolt because it's only, unless I guess they've been planning it for longer than this. But I mean, usually takes a couple of match days just for people to settle in and new players. But like you said, they've played a lot together before in Clan Wars and other tournaments and stuff. But yeah, I guess we're gonna take a quick break here, Smiley. We'll be back here in just a little more than 5 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes or so. And we'll have the second match for you guys. Thank you for watching Major League 6-on-6. Yeah, we've got coming up. It'll be Jack is AFK versus Angry Apes for the second match of the night. Yeah, we'll see you guys in a few. I'll turn on some music for you.
Yeah, we'll turn on some music for you guys, and we'll see you guys then.